There's two more Republican presidential candidates are now in the race for the White House. You can see the 10 declared hopefuls there on your screen. We're still months away from the first Iowa caucuses, but candidates already taking shots at one another.
That's right. Vice President Mike Pence made his official campaign announcement in Iowa yesterday. He's the first vice president in modern history to challenge the president under whom he served.
As I've said many times, on that fateful day, President Trump's words were reckless. They endangered my family and everyone at the Capitol. But the American people deserve to know that on that day, President Trump also demanded that I choose between him and the Constitution. Now voters will be faced with the same choice. I chose the Constitution, and I always will.
Well, the Make America Great Again super PAC releasing the following statement on Pence's candidacy, saying, quote, Mike Pence's entrance into the race caps off another bad week for Ron DeSantis' faltering campaign. But the question most GOP voters are asking themselves about Pence's candidacy is why.
And meantime, we brought you the lead up to this. North Dakota Governor Doug Burgum announcing his run for president also. Now, he's a former software entrepreneur. He sold his company to Microsoft in 2011. He had absolutely no political experience before running for governor in 2016. But this year, he's put in place a whole bunch of conservative laws, including some on culture war issues.
It shouldn't be a surprise that small-town values have guided me my entire life. Small-town values are at the core of America. And frankly, big cities could use more ideas and more values from small towns right now. To unlock the best of America, we need a leader who's clearly focused on three things: economy, energy, and national security.
All right, and obviously the Make America Great Again PAC released their statement there. But either way, the Republican field of candidates continues to grow, including 2024 presidential hopeful Nikki Haley joining us live now. She just wrapped up her speech. Good to see you. Good morning to you, Governor. How you feeling?
I'm great. Look at this beautiful sight behind me. It's a great day here in Texas.
Well, that's what I wanted to start off with you on. You were on the ground there in West Texas at an oil rig. We saw your speech. I know that you are releasing your American energy plan. Talk to us about that, being energy independent here in the United States. How important is that to your campaign?
Well, Sean, when I was at the United Nations, what I saw was Russia, China, and our enemies never wanted two things. They didn't want us to have a strong military, and they didn't want us to be energy independent. And you look at what Biden has done. He suddenly put on all of these regulations. He slowed down permitting. He, basically got us out of the Keystone Pipeline his very first week. He put us back into the Paris Climate Agreement, which allowed China to do whatever they wanted, but regulated the U.S. I mean, we saw that he put all these subsidies, these green subsidies, on all of these businesses and stopped this process. And so we've paid the price for it. And he cares more about endangered species than he does about American energy. We've seen that he's worried more about sagebrush lizards than he is about the fact that Americans have to spend $20 more in gasoline when they fill up their car. And what we're saying is we have an energy plan, and that energy plan means we're going to stop demonizing energy producers, and we're going to empower them so that they can make us more energy independent. We're going to stop controlling where they produce and how much they produce. We're going to pull back those greenhouse subsidies and all of those green deals that Biden has put in place, and we're going to make sure that we speed up the permitting so that we can get more pipelines in the mix. And more than that, always remember, a strong foreign policy is a connection to a strong energy policy. That's what we'll do in my administration, and you'll see a lot more of these. When you look at this rig, think 1,000 jobs. That's what we're talking about when we talk about a rig like this.
And perhaps gas prices for millions of Americans to come down as it sits at $3.56 on average a gallon here at AAA, depending on which state you are in. You mentioned the Biden administration. News coming out today that China has reportedly reached a secret deal with Cuba to place an electronic eavesdropping facility on the island island roughly 100 miles from Florida, Guantanamo Bay area. You released a statement saying, quote, Joe Biden needs to wake up to the real Chinese threats on our doorstep, unquote. Again, that from you. Can you elaborate on that statement? In your mind, what needs to be done? How serious of a threat is China?
Well, first of all, look at what is happening. You've got China's bought 400,000 acres of U.S. soil, most recently near Grand Forks Air Force Base, where our most sensitive drone technology is. We had a spy balloon go over America, over South Carolina, not because we have pretty beaches, because they know we have a strong military operation there in South Carolina. I mean, you look at the fact that President Xi said whoever owns the data rules the world, and he's doing that by requiring all of our American tech companies that do business in China to cooperate with the Chinese military. So they now have surveillance over all of our financial situation, our healthcare situation, our children's lifestyle situation. So we shouldn't be surprised that they're now putting a spy station in Cuba. What we should be upset about is that Biden has done nothing about it. Absolutely nothing. They've done nothing about what they did for us with COVID. They've done nothing about all the fentanyl that's coming across. We are letting China continue to steal $600 billion of intellectual property from us every year, and Biden continues to sit in the White House and do nothing. So why wouldn't China go and put a spy station in Cuba? The thing we have to do is we have to let China know we're on to them. We have to build up a strong military. We have to get energy independent. We've got to sanction them for sending that fentanyl over. We've got to hold them accountable for COVID and what they're doing. We've got to stop this purchase of U.S. soil. We need to get them out of our universities, and we need to make sure that China knows you make one more step of surveillance and we're going to sanction you. And by the way, Cuba thinks that they're hurting from us now. We will make them hurt more. Biden has tried to loosen things on them and become more friendly with Cuba. You don't become more friendly with a state sponsor of terrorism.
I want to get to specifics, if I can move back stateside here, particularly with biological women, high schoolers competing, collegiate athletes competing. You have called trans kids playing sports with, again, biological women, biological men, and that transgender women, the women's issue of our time. We've had biological women competing collegiate level, expressing their frustration with biological men or transgender women competing in their sport, taking away medals, scholarships, and even the uncomfortability in the locker room. Do you have any plan with that? Do you believe that would be a major issue for your campaign, for your potential administration?
It has been an issue all my life to make sure that we grow strong girls, because strong girls become strong women. And when you look at the fact that last year a third of our teenage girls seriously contemplated suicide, we need to focus on strong girls. But what are we doing instead? You've got biological boys playing in girls' sports. My daughter ran track. I don't even know how I would have that conversation with her. How are we supposed to get our young women used to the fact that biological men are in their locker rooms? It is not normal. Why are we doing this? We have got to stop erasing our women. We've got to stop canceling our women. I spoke to a girl in New Hampshire, a senior in high school, and she said every class they talk about transgenderism. And she said she feels like she's walking on glass because they feel like they can't say anything. Think about what that does to our girls. That's not okay. I will stop it. We all need to stop it, and we need to treat this as the crisis that it is.
I know we'll go back in time for a second here. I know you said you would not run for president if President Trump was going to run. Of course, here you are today, a strong contender here for 2024 White House candidate. The former president, President Trump, has criticized your run. Here's what he said. He says, quote, Nikki Haley is just another career politician. She started out as a never-Trumper before resigning to serve in the Trump administration. She then resigned early to go rake in money on corporate boards. Now she's telling us she represents a new generation. Sure just looks like more of the same, a career politician whose only fulfilled commitment is to herself, unquote. Again, your response to that, in also keeping in mind, this is someone you may or may not face off with on a debate stage, and you may see these attacks there. Would you have a response then? Do you have one now?
I mean, God bless President Trump. I mean, first of all, if I was that bad, why did he hire me to be his UN ambassador? If I was that bad, why did he say that I was the best person that the UN ever saw? If I was that bad, why did he thank me for being a great partner on foreign policy? The only reason he's hitting me now is because I'm running. And I'll tell you, I had a great working relationship with him when I was at the UN, and we got a lot done. But the biggest thing we got done was we took the kick me sign off of our backs at the UN, and America was respected again. And so as we go forward, you know, I'm going to continue doing what I'm doing, which is touch every hand, go to every town hall, answer every question in New Hampshire, Iowa, and South Carolina. I'm not going to get into his petty back and forth, but what I will say is it is time for a new generation. It is time to get away from the vendettas. It is time to get away from the negativity and the baggage that we have seen. I will tell you, I have always fought for America. I'm going to continue to fight for America. The reason I decided to run was you look at the fall of Afghanistan, you look at the economy and the out-of-control debt, you look at the fact that we have a lack of transparency in our classrooms, the fact that we have sky-high crime, and look at the open borders that we have. That's why I'm running. That's why we need to have someone that's focused on solutions and what we're going to do. I have no problem getting on a debate stage with President Trump, and I welcome it.
I want to move to this, and finally, some news that we got in today, breaking news, sad news to report. The passing of Pat Robertson, passing away at the age of 93, Christian Broadcasting Network. He ran for president back in 1988, touched so many lives with the 700 Club. Can you share your thoughts on the passing of Pat Robertson?
Oh, what a sweet friend and an amazing individual. I mean, he was so much more than an evangelical. I mean, this was a man that really focused on helping multiple generations move forward in a strong, faithful, religious way. I mean, he had an impact on our country. He had an impact on our children. He had an impact in the way he conducted his faith, and he will be incredibly missed. But he is now in eternal life, and we're thankful for that. And we just lift up the Robertson family in our prayers and are so grateful. I'm grateful for the fact that I knew him, for the friend that he was, for the guidance that he gave me, and he will be loved, and his legacy will be remembered for a very long time.
Well, we're grateful for your time, former governor of South Carolina, former UN ambassador, and now Republican presidential candidate, Nikki Haley. Governor, good to see you. Thank you for your time today.
Thank you. Go to NikkiHaley.com.